Driver of the Day is a popularity contest. There, I said it. We all know it is. From its inception, its only purpose has been to make sure that a popular driver gets some accolades at the end of the race. To the point where, let's say Max Verstappen can drive a brilliant race and he wins 3 races in a row and he shows his class. Because he's winning, people don't want to give him Driver of the Day. And I think this has really come ahead at the Spanish Grand Prix, in which Lando Norris, in what, let's be honest, was a race-winning car that day, starting from pole, managed to lose out. And really and truly, if things panned out a little bit differently, could have lost second as well. Max Verstappen, in an inferior car for once in a very long time, managed to actually still win the race with some great strategy, good race pace, and some decent overtaking at the beginning. And so it gets you wondering, why did Lando get Driver of the Day? Well, it's clear, because Driver of the Day is almost like a participation award to say thank you for showing up to your favorite driver, to the point where the driver that wins rarely gets Driver of the Day. Only if maybe you're Charles Leclerc winning at Monaco and everyone's really happy for you, then will the winner of the race, get a chance at Driver of the Day. But part of being the winner of the race, especially in an era right now where, let's be honest, everyone's tired of Max winning, at least a little bit. We all love the fact that there's more competition, but Max is still winning the races at the end of the day. So when that fatigue sets in and Max Verstappen does in fact keep winning, your Driver of the Day doesn't stay as Max Verstappen, even though it should. And I think this has probably come ahead at a weekend, because we all give Max Verstappen a little bit of flack. He has leagues and leagues above everyone else, and he is currently carrying Red Bull on his back and has been for the past couple years. But now he has genuine pressure from other teams, and the only thing standing between Red Bull and third in the championship is Max Verstappen. If Max Verstappen performed anywhere close to as bad as Sergio Perez, then Red Bull would easily be taken in the championship by McLaren. And dare I say, if Ferrari just got a little bit better, they would be taken by Ferrari as well. I don't know what happened to Ferrari. I'm going to make a video about it, but Ferrari seem to have decided it's their yearly drop off a cliff. Maybe they'll pick up after the halfway point of the season. But I'm kind of sick and tired of Driver of the Day meaning nothing. In fact, you know what? I'm not sick and tired, because nobody cares about Driver of the Day. Driver of the Day was introduced as almost a method of, given a man of the match award if you watch football, if you're watching the Euros, or a player of the tournament. You know what I mean? Like, it's the best person on the day. That was what it was introduced for. And 2 things are up with Driver of the Day, which I think could change a lot. For starters, when you have something like a man of the match award, you actually get an award for it, not just a random radio saying people liked you today. And second of all, what you have to do to get Driver of the Day varies so much. If you're someone like Max Verstappen, you literally have to come from 15th to win the race to get Driver of the Day. If you're Charles Leclerc, to get Driver of the Day, you have to get within touching distance of the leaders. If you're Lando Norris, you have to do a decent job and look like you have some pace. And the problem is the fans, obviously, because we're the ones voting. Well, not me, because I don't even bother voting for Driver of the Day. But on weekends like this weekend, in which Lando didn't maximize performance and another driver did, it makes it even more meaningless to have a Driver of the Day award, because there are so many drives that day that were in fact better than Lando's. Lewis's drive was better than Lando's. Dare I say, the Alpine's drives were better than Lando's. And they're just 3 from the top of my head. If you can't maximize what you're getting from the car, I'm not sure if it's valid to give someone a Driver of the Day award. In my personal opinion, they should probably regulate how much the fans' input of Driver of the Day award is, because the fans don't vote for who the man of the match is. It's decided. But I think what is probably not talked about of why Driver of the Day is such a dumb award is because of F1 TV. And follow where I'm getting with this. Help me land here. Hear me out here. On a weekend in which Lando Norris gets pole and has a somewhat championship contending car, how much of the other side of the grid or the other drivers do you see? You see Lewis Hamilton, George Russell scrapping a bit. You maybe see Carlos Sainz, but mainly 80% of your time, is spent on Lando Norris. You didn't even see that much of Max Verstappen. You mainly saw when Lando Norris was pitting, when Lando Norris was pushing, when Lando Norris was staying out. They didn't even focus on Verstappen, who was outperforming his car. Well, we're going to get to that phrase, outperform, but he was driving to the limit of his car. And so as fans, especially if it's a driver like Lando who's obscenely popular, you didn't see the fact that the Alpines got double points. You didn't see the driving that they did because it wasn't on TV. It was live, sure, and there are 20 drivers on the track, sure, but the amount of screen time each driver gets is so skewed, especially on weekends when a team other than Red Bull can challenge for a win. It makes it almost impossible to view that driver other than the most angelic, favorable light. Couple this with the fact that commentary is stroking them off every time they do something special. Oh my goodness, Lando is so great. He's squeezing the absolute performance out of that car. 3 times slower than Max Verstappen. But seriously, and speaking of 3 times slower than Max Verstappen, I was on Red Bull's Instagram page, and a lot of people were suggesting, obviously they're Red Bull fans, that for the past few weeks, well, for a long time actually, that Sergio Perez is driving the real performance of that Red Bull, and Max Verstappen is overdriving. He's getting something out of the car that doesn't even exist. Max Verstappen is doing above and beyond, which, okay, we're going to talk about a term called overdriving. We all know the term. We used to use it a lot of the time for Sergio Perez. Oh, he's overdriving the car. We might say a driver is putting that car in places it really can't be. And I know it's a figure of speech, but at the same time, it's not a figure of speech. It's used to essentially say a driver is doing things that cars shouldn't be capable of. Well, that's true and it's not true. Yes, a driver can push a car to its limit and surprise you with how quick they can go in a car. But fundamentally, if a car does not want to go that quick, it cannot go that quick. It's not like in football where you can pull an upset, where you can achieve more than you really thought was capable. If a car can go 210 miles an hour, it doesn't matter how hard you smash the accelerator pedal. It is going to go 210 miles an hour. You won't summon an extra 10 miles an hour for it. Even Max Verstappen, as quick as he drives, he complains about the rear, and he would say that, look, there's a certain speed Max Verstappen can go around the corner. Now, if, let's say, you put Charles Leclerc in the car, and he managed to go around the same corner 2 tenths quicker, is Charles overdriving that Red Bull, or was the Red Bull capable of doing that? It was the Red Bull capable of doing that. And there's a difference. You can't overdrive a car because that's physically impossible. It's a machine that obeys the laws of physics. But what you can do is underdrive the car. And that's what Sergio Perez has been doing. Now, if you underdrive the car enough, like if you get the car in its comfort zone enough, then yeah, it's going to look like one driver's overdriving the car. I think that you should be taking this as, if you've ever gone on like a run, right? Let's say you went on a 5K run or a 3-mile run for, us Brits. When you push, like let's say you're pushing really fast past your regular pace, you're like, wow, I don't think I can keep up this pace. And you end up at the end of the run with a time that was probably your best time. You were like, wow, I didn't know I can get there. Did you overrun that day? No, you didn't overrun. But let's say you stayed at a more comfortable pace that your body is, it's okay to go at this pace for 3 miles or 5K. And you got a run that was decent, it was okay. But you didn't push to your potential. Would you say that the person that pushed is overrunning? No. You'd say they ran to their potential, and the person who didn't get that time didn't run to their potential. It's the same thing with the cars. You have a certain speed, a certain time these cars can get to. If you stuck Skynet into the car wouldn't magically go so much quicker because an AI is automatically running it. It might go a little bit quicker. It will drive within the car's limits. At best, to the car's limits. The same thing as the drivers. If you have a driver that's in the car, like Max Verstappen, who's going 3 tenths, 4 tenths a lap quicker than his rivals, and maybe 7 tenths a lap quicker than his teammate, that doesn't mean Max Verstappen's overdriving the car. means that Max Verstappen is pushing the car to its limit. And when you have someone like Sergio Perez that is failing to get within the top 5 in a Red Bull and is barely getting points in that car, do you say, oh, no, like he's where the car is actually is? No, you say that he's not performing to the car's ability and he's pulling the team down. That's it. I just had to get that rant out. Ciao, ciao.